What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the channel. And hey, before we get into the build today, guys, listen. If you're someone that you enjoy the legends of the game, talking about those players from like the 60s through the early 2000s, and you do 2K builds, and you may want to, find some builds on guys like that, especially some of the lesser known guys, that have got, forgotten with time. Or if you're someone that's younger that, you may want to, find some of those underrated legends of the game and, just to kind of get an idea of some people that you may want to watch some highlights of or, possibly even do a build on, then this is the channel for you because look, I focus on the legends of the game mainly, but I also try to do underrated legends as well, guys that, have been forgotten over time. And, with that, that brings us right into today's video because the build that we're doing today, guys, I feel like he is one of the, the most underrated, if not the most underrated player of all time. And, we're talking about a guy that won multiple MVPs, was a champion, rebounding titles, was a really, really good player. And for, a span of time, and this was during the Kareem era and Dr. J era, some would have said that, he was the best player in the NBA at the time. And yet, here we are 40 years later and, he's pretty much forgotten about. And that's Moses Malone, guys. I mean, if you've never seen him play, if you're younger and you never seen highlights of him, or maybe if you're a little bit older and you just saw him when he was like in San Antonio or something and he was past his prime, I would definitely say, go watch Moses when he was in the ABA, when he was with Philly, you know, and just get a feel for how good this guy was because he was really good, guys. But with that, guys, let's just get into this build, okay? So, there's several ways that you could do this build. You could use four different pie charts, for this type of build. You could go 50-50 split on red and blue, or you could come down and do the one that's mostly red and slightly less blue, or mostly blue, slightly less red, or you could go the way that I would go with it, and that's the full-on red. And the reason why I like doing the red or the max defense pie chart is because with a build like this, with the center build, I found in 2K and in 2K21 and 22 both that the pure red, um, you can still be a threat on the offensive end in the paint and with getting offensive boards and putting them back up, and things like that. You, you would still be able to put up your points on the offensive end, but defensively it's so overpowered that you really you really need you really want to go with that. Basically, it's just that overpowered. And if you're someone that you don't really worry too much about shooting, then it's a it's a way to go. It's because with the center build guys, look, you're not going to be stepping out for threes unless you want to build a stretch. But if you're building one, a player that you want to dominate defensively and on the boards, this is to me what I feel like one of the better builds. And this is the actual build that I play most with in this game now is a build very similar to this. Okay. And if you guys would like, I mean, I'll be more than happy to do a build on that. It's not really based on any specific player. You could, maybe say it's based on like a Kevin McHale or something like that, but it's not really. I didn't really, go in basing it on anybody. In all honesty, I guess, when I was doing the build, actually the person that I thought about was was like a taller Bill Russell. In all honesty, um, because I did do it's a pure red, and it's 7 foot, only 210, but you know the the fact that it's only 210 doesn't hurt the build at all. So if that's something that you may be interested in seeing, I'll show you exactly how I did that build. And it's, this build right here, guys, I'm telling you, if you play my career especially, I can tell you for a fact that it's super easy to, even before you get it anywhere near maxed, to have your guy putting up big numbers, and I'm talking, 30, 34, 36 points a night, plus, 25 boards, maybe even more, 5 and 6 blocks. It's really, really easy, guys. And it's so fun if that's what you enjoy doing. Again, with the physical profiles, guys, you could go either way you want. Me personally, I'm going to stick with what I feel is the best chart or the best pie chart for a Moses Malone build, and that's the strength and vertical. Okay, because Malone was a strong player, and he did have some good vertical. I mean, I remember seeing a picture of Malone going up over, I believe it was Kareem, and Kareem has, he's 7'2", so he's got like 4 inches on him, just from height alone, and then the fact that his wingspan probably gave him another 2 or 3, so you're looking at least half a foot difference in height that he was overcoming with his vertical, and the fact that he was able to go in and get rebounds against guys like that night in and night out, just really shows that he had, good vertical, and he was a strong guy because when he boxed you out, he was able to, keep you there and, get up and get those boards. So now with this, guys, basically what we're going to do, we're going to focus on, three things here, our close shot, our standing dunk, and our post hook. Now this we are taking up to 49 just to get that 14th finishing badge because we will need that. And with this build, guys, look, with shooting, I'm only going to do a couple of things, okay? And that's I'm going to put up the mid range and the post fade. And for one reason only, is because you know he was able to knock down shots from outside the paint. So with this build, you want to be able to do that. And the good thing is, guys, with 22 being a little bit easier to shoot with, you're not going to have a problem with that. Okay, so and we're also going to put our post control all the way up. We're going to put our defensive, offensive, and block all the way up as well. And then we're going to put up our lateral quickness and our interior defense. And this should leave us 2. Okay. Now, the thing is, guys, with these 2 extra points, it doesn't matter where you put them. You're not going to be able to get another badge anywhere. I've tried it, at every place. So I'm just putting them on the driving dunk. And that's simply because if something happens and you do happen to get an open lane to the basket, it's going to better your chance of getting that dunk. And that would be better than just the layup or possibly missing a shot. So now we're going to do this true to form. So 6'10", and even though I believe later in his career he did put on some weight, he was probably closer to 230 or 240. Most of the listings that I found on Moses shows him at 215, which is more like when he first came into the league and he was thinner. So we're going to go with that simply because you're still going to have a lot of strength. You're still going to have good vertical, and it's just going to help that speed out a little bit. So if you do decide to take this build to the courts, you're not going to struggle nearly as much as if you were to put that weight up and be much slower than what it already would be. Okay, so with our wingspan, we're maxing that out because we did bring our height down to 6'10", so we did lose a little bit on our block, offensive and defensive rebounding, and this is going to get that back for us. So now, if we look at where we're at, okay, we know that we're going to get a +4 to our attributes once we hit 99. So we know we're going to have a close shot of 90. Our driving layup, it's only going to be 50. Our driving dunk is going to be 66, which is all right. I mean, we're going to be able to, get those driving dunks if need be. It's not going to be anything great, but it'll be there. But our standing dunk, it'll be a 99, and we'll have a post hook of 71. So I really think with those attributes and with the badges that we're going to put with it, you're going to be able to finish really well around the basket. Your mid range will be a 62, and your post fade will be a 68. So both of those, again, you're going to be able to do well with the way the shooting is in this game. Okay, so if you look at our playmaking, really the only thing that we changed was our post control. Now our post control is only going to be a 66, which isn't great, but with the way that you play with this build, you're not going to play very often with your back to the basket, or at least I don't. If you do play that way, guys, I would recommend going with one of the builds or one of the pie charts that have more blue in it. Simply because that way you'll get more post control. But the way I play with this build, guys, is I'm basically trying to hunt down as many offensive rebounds as possible and getting putbacks and things like that. And that's how I do a majority of the scoring with this particular build. Okay. And then if we go down, we look at our interior defense. That'll be an 85. We'll have a lateral quickness of 79, which for a player of this at 6'10", that's pretty good. We'll take that. And then our block, offensive and defensive rebounding, those are all be maxed out as well at 99. So with that, guys, you're going to be able to get those rebounds. That plus that vertical. Because if we go over and look at our physicals, we know that we're going to get a +4 for hitting 99, and then if we get the gym rat badge or by going to the Gatorade facility, that's going to be another +4. So we're going to be able to add 8 on to each one of these. So if we look, 75 for speed, which is going to be really, really good. 78 for strength, which again, for someone this fast, that's going to be really, really good. And guys, if you're playing on the courts, that's probably going to be a really good strength anyway, because most people go with speed. Um, and then your acceleration, that's going to be a 73, and then your vertical is going to be a 93, guys. So you're going to be able to really get up and get those blocks and get those rebounds and things. So you'll be able to do really, really well with this build. Now, with this, guys, you can go a couple different ways with this, okay? But doing a Moses build, guys, he's the chairman of the boards. So therefore, you want to go glass cleaner, right? And if we look at our shades of, we got Clint Capella, Bill Russell, and Rudy Gobert. So those are not bad comparisons, especially Bill Russell, because I feel like Moses was a lot like Russell. I think that Moses, focused on scoring a bit more than Russell did. But I think it's a really good comparison because they were both heavily focused on defense and rebounding and so I really like that comparison. So let's go ahead now. Let's look at our badges, okay? So with the badges, guys, as always, there's going to be several ways that you can do this. Me personally, I'm going to do back down Punisher. I'm going to do fast twitch and fearless finisher. Those are all going to be on gold, okay? Now I'm going to do put back on silver and rise up on bronze, and then I'm going to do the post spin technician on bronze as well. Now, another way that you can do this, guys, if you want to, do like your hooks and things, you could take rise up or post spin down and put that on hook or both of them. Or if you wanted to be on unstrippable, you could put a badge on there as well. It's really ever how you want to do it. Okay. Me personally, this is the way that I like to play with this build. I think it works really well. You've got the back down Punisher because when you do have your back to the basket, You're really going to be able to get in your position and get the shot that you want. Fast twitch is there. Just simply look. When you do get to that position, you want to go up as quick as possible. Or the reason why I like it so much is because when I get that offensive board, I'm able to go right back up with it really quickly, and before a taller defender or someone can get over and potentially either strip the ball or block it. And of course, you want fearless finisher because as a center, you're going to get a lot of contact. Even if you try to avoid it, you're going to get contact. Okay. Um, and then put back boss simply because look, um, when you're going for offensive rebounds, guys, you if you can get a boost for your shots or your putback attempts, then you want to use that. It just makes the most sense. And with this build, I feel like that's going to be one of your main focuses, especially on the offensive end. So you want that on there, and then it rise up. It just makes it easier to dunk when you're under the basket. And post spin technician, of course, it improves your work in the post and able to do that spin effectively. So it's just at the end of the day, guys, it's ever how you decide to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and throw this last one on hook specialist simply because, well, we're going to use our hooks from time to time. Like I said, if you want to put that higher, you've got the option to take away from one of these and put that on there as well. But I think this is a pretty good layout from for the way that I play. And like I said, I know that this works pretty well from the way that I play with it. Okay, so with this, guys, again, you're going to have basically three ways you can go with this. Okay, you can put fade ace on bronze, hot zone hunter on bronze, or slippery off ball on bronze. Okay, it depends on how you play with your build. Now, me personally, the way that I like to play is, I like to get those offensive rebounds. So if I'm out and I'm setting a screen for for a player, and they take the shot, I want to be able to, get back toward the basket or as close to the basket as possible with, the least resistance as possible. So I always go slippery off ball just for that very reason alone. Um, Now, again, with your playmaking badge, because you only have one, there's going to be a couple of different ways you could do, you can go with this. You could do break starter, bullet passer. You could even do glue hands. I don't really think glue hands is going to do a whole lot for you um, because you're not going to be dribbling. And see, that's the thing with this. I don't know if it helps you when you take the shot because it just says put the ball on the floor. So it's up in the air on that. I don't know if it's really going to be beneficial for a center build that's not going to really be dribbling the ball a whole lot. You could do needle threader if you wanted to, post playmaker, or unpluckable. Me personally, guys, because I am so heavily focused on getting rebounds, I want to do break starter, and that's just because it improves the ability to make an effective outlet pass after grabbing a rebound. So if you get a defensive rebound, it's really good to get that ball out of there, and get your team moving in the opposite direction as fast as possible. Or guys, if you get a offensive rebound and then you have several defenders that collapse on you, that's going to be able to help you get the ball out of your hands and get it into the hands of someone that's open to knock down the shot. So to me, with the way that I play with this build, it just makes the most sense. And then here we have just 30 badges that we're going to just use them all, because for this, like you want box on Hall of Fame, you want brick on silver, chase down artist on bronze just to get the animation for that. You want to do intimidator on Hall of Fame, pogo stick Hall of Fame, worm Hall of Fame, rim protector Hall of Fame, rebound chaser Hall of Fame. Okay, so that leaves us with three. We got three badges left, guys. So it really depends on how you want to do this. Now, The way that I do this, guys, and you may be different, but again, it's just this is the way that I like to do this specific build. Okay, I like to put clamps on bronze because if I'm in a pick and roll situation and I get switched off on a ball handler like a guard or a small forward, I want to be able to defend them as best as possible. So I feel like at least having clamps on there, it helps you somewhat. It's not going to make it, to where, you're going to be able to stop them, but you may be able to, slow them down enough to where, if they do happen to get around you because you have chase down artists, you'll be able to make that ground up and get a block. Or where you have intimidator, you may be able to alter their shot enough to where they miss anyway. Um, you know, and that's just the way I look at it, guys. But when I do these builds, I'm not, I don't look at badges as something that's a bailout essentially. I try to put my badges together to where they work off of one another. And they can help each badge. Because we know our weakness is going to be speed. So if clamps helps us, negate that a little bit, just enough to where these two badges here come into play, then that's going to be helpful. And even rim protector, but those three badges can come into play because you've got this on and it slows that ball handler down just enough to where it makes those effective. So, and then last, guys, I just put hustler on silver because again, you're this build you're making the build to where it's mainly rebounding. So hustler, a player has a nose for the ball. Now I don't know if that specifically helps you with rebounds or not, but when I hear that, I feel like it would help at least somewhat. And then in those loose ball situations, it's going to help you when you dive for the ball. So it's just the little things like that, guys, that when you're looking at the badges, you want to look at potentially all the things that it may help you at. So there you have it, though, guys. I mean, I feel like this is a really good Moses build, and like I said, there's four different ways that you could go about doing this. This is just the way that it suits my play style. Okay. But if you want to be more of an interior force on the offensive end, then you can certainly go that route with doing the more blue with slightly less red, and it's still going to be very effective. Okay, so you know just go in, do this build, guys, because I'm telling you, if you're someone, if you enjoy playing as a center and you like getting big blocks at crucial moments in the game, or getting a huge offensive rebound, or anything like that. This is that build, guys. Because I'm telling you, I've played this build enough now. I've had it in many different situations, and it does well. It's not going to be the guy that steps out and hits down the game-winning three, but it will be that guy that gets that game-winning block, or that guy that gets that offensive rebound to kick it out to one of those perimeter players to hit that game-winning shot, or even go with the putback, for a game winner. So yeah, if you're someone that likes playing the interior, this is a really good build for you. It's very fun. If you're someone like me, you don't really care too much about the shooting. You like to affect the game in other ways. Then this is a build that you'll enjoy. But with that being said, guys, again, if you're someone that you like the legends of the game, especially those lesser known legends like Moses Malone, then this is definitely the channel for you, because that's literally all I focus on. And if you did enjoy today's video, guys, I would greatly appreciate a like. And let me know in the comments below, guys, maybe some legends of the game that you would like to see me build that maybe I haven't built before. And one thing I would say, guys, just before I end this, look, if you've not seen a lot of the legends play, I would definitely say look at some of the other builds that I've done. because I've got a lot of lesser known, players on there. Like one of the ones, and I don't know if it's got any views yet. The last time I looked at it, it had no views, but I did a Bernard King build. Which, guys, if you've not watched Bernard King play on offense, the guy was one of the smoothest players I've ever seen. He was really, really good offensively. I mean, he was a beast. And if you've never heard of Bernard King, go watch that build, and then go watch some of Bernard King highlights, because he was a really good player, guys. But with that being said, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my video today. I greatly appreciate it. And have a wonderful night, day, evening, wherever you are. Have a good one.